Hello and welcome to 5 at 5. Today I'm actually dealing with a subject which is very close to my heart: hero worship and its pitfalls. And clearly you can understand that the Vibhav Suryavanchi case is the one I'm referring to here. First things first, Vibhav Suryavanchi is a man with immense talent. I have had multiple conversations with people who know him well, people who have been part of the Rajasthan Royals, people who have worked with him closely, multiple people. And there are some great traits about the man, including there is a story where he actually went up to the coach when I think Rahul Dravid was there with the franchise at that point, and went and said, Mera number kab aayega, mera chance kab aayega, after Sanju Samson got injured. Got his opportunity and did wonderfully well in the IPL. There's no debate. There is zero debate that Vaibhav Suryavanshi is a man of immense talent, someone who has a tremendous future for India as far as white ball cricket is concerned at this point. If he grooms himself, who knows? He can even go and play red ball cricket. But at this point in time, the question that Vaibhav Suryavanshi and talent is undoubted. For someone with that kind of talent, the expectations will always be more. For someone with that kind of talent, he's already broken through the ranks at the age of 15 in the IPL. He has so much so he even pushed Sanju Samson down. He and Yashasvi Jaiswal kind of took control. He and Yashasvi Jaiswal took control at the top of the order for Rajasthan. So in every sense, the man has immense potential. Now, when you have some player who is like that, who has a great future, it automatically happens that there comes a section of people who become reflected glory, who kind of stop holding up the mirror, who try to say, oh, you are God's gift to mankind. Oh, and it's adulation without any kind of criticality. It's adulation of a sort that sport can actually do without. It's adulation of a sort which is heady. And what happens is, if you're a formative person, a man at a formative age, in this case, Vaibhav Suryavanshi is only 15, we have seen a lot of talent. We have seen a lot of talent go waste. We have seen a lot of talent go waste because mentally he or she has not been able to deal with this kind of adulation, which comes too fast, which comes very fast. Somebody at the age of 15, imagine we were in high school, someone's earning in crores, someone's already being talked about as the next big star from India, is being talked about as the next big white ball sensation from India, is being talked about as he should make the white ball team sooner than later. It is a heady world. It is a heady world. And make no mistake, Vaibhav Suryavanshi is riding that wave. But with that wave comes responsibility. With that wave, things become rather critical as well, because everything is coming at you so fast that you kind of lose that little edge. And that's where our role, the role of his coach, the teammates, colleagues, mentors, management, BCCI, Rajasthan Royals, media, everything becomes significant, because you have to hold up the mirror and help the guy, guide the guy, support the guy to understand things in perspective. And that's why when Vaibhav Suryavanshi played that innings against Pakistan, and when he got out and those gestures happened where he pointed towards his feet and all, I did a piece saying, look, this guy is immensely talented. Let his bat do the talking. Yes, one understands that mistakes are made at the heat of the moment. Must have been that the opponent is sledging. India wasn't in a good shape, anger, all of that is understandable. But at the same time, Vaibhav Suryavanshi has so much talent that he cannot let anger overtake his kind of focus on the field. He cannot let anger become or take center stage. Temperament is massively important, much more important than just talent, because it's a mesh of temperament and talent that will make Vaibhav Suryavanshi the player that he will eventually become. What is my stake in saying this? The only stake, Vaibhav Suryavanshi, the only stake, by the way, I don't know the guy. I haven't met him. I haven't spoken to him. My only stake here is to see a tremendous talent from India come to fruition. As a journalist who has been there, done that for the last 2.5 decades, I've seen many like Vibhav Suryavanchi go waste because of temperament. So the only thing that is at stake here, as far as I'm concerned, is Vibhav Suryavanchi should not go down the wrong route. The man should give fruition to his talent and do yeoman service to Indian cricket, make the most of the opportunity that God has given him, the talent that God has given him, and become a rising star, a shining star. That's the only intention. Otherwise, what is the point of holding up the mirror? And we as the fourth estate, the media, it is our job to be constructively critical. Now, I did the piece got, and interestingly, and here's an interesting social media dynamic for you. The piece got tremendous amount of response on Facebook and mostly positive responses. I went ahead and checked some of the responses today. It was nice, decent, intellectually strong, civil engagement. Some even disagreed, but the engagement was more civil. That's Facebook. So the piece was, about 300,000 or something like that, more than 300,000 engagements with the piece. Now that's strong for a long form piece. And mostly there were about 200 or 300 or 400 comments, and it was interesting. And Prakash, don't ban anyone. If there is abuse, let the abuse come. Let the abuse come, because it will be interesting to see the abuse. It'll be interesting to see the abuse. So, because that's the whole point of this particular show, Prakash. Because the way social media reacts, the way fandom reacts, the way trolls react, the way people try to do hero worship, and actually, without realizing, will actually harm Vibhav Suryavanchi rather than helping them. So anyway, that was Facebook. X is a medium of poison. That's where a lot of these so-called moral police come forward and start saying, oh, why don't you continue with your agenda on Shubman Gill? Why are you focusing on Vibhav Suryavanchi? Why are you talking about Vibhav Suryavanchi? Now, what they don't understand is I'm used to trolling. I'm used to being abused. I'm used to being called names. It doesn't even matter. I flush them out like toilet paper. What they don't understand is by doing this, by so-called self-proclaimed RR fans, which they are not, they are idiots masquerading as fans. They are trolls masquerading as fans. What they will end up doing is actually harm Vibhav Suryavanchi. So much so. I mean, that was the kind of tone and tenor. And I followed the piece up, the first piece, with another one today, where I actually said that, look, the whole point of this constructively critical piece that I'd done is to actually hold up the mirror, whereby a young cricketer can just learn from his mistake and get better. So the idea is that. The idea is to help him, to support him, to back him, so that he engages and gets better. If we do not, because then he will not even realize, okay, the media has a job to do. He will not even realize that. That was the whole point. And that's where I said that the trolls, or there are many who claim to be Rajasthan Royals fans, because I was reading some of the comments. I mean, there was some abuse. There was some, why don't you focus on your own business, and Shubman Gill, etc., etc. Now the point is, the whole deal is ultimately, as sports scribes, as intellectuals, and I teach sport for a living in different universities in different parts of the world. You want to help people because that's how the ecosystem is. That's your job. It is not just in my case, I run a company. There are 54 young people who are working in the company who are all sports journalists. It is important for them to also be constructively critical if need be. What happens when this barrage of trolling starts is people become like, okay, so in that case, we will only flatter. We will only write pieces which are of little consequence. There is no point in criticizing, because the moment you are constructively critical, you will get this barrage of trolling. It is much better not to even get into that critical thing and leave it. Now, let me give you an example of this. And by the way, I will try and take as many questions. Okay, let me answer this first. Why you told about your private conversation during about my father-in-law, etc., etc. Greg Chappal, you stand true to your name of being a Chappal. You're an idiot of the highest order. That's what you are. You think I'm going to talk about a private conversation of a medical emergency when I'm flustered and I'm troubled when my father-in-law is in the ICU in the public domain? Clearly, there was a glitch, there was an error at the back end, which is why the stream could not be switched off, and we've taken measures to address that. But you think everyone knows how to off a mic? No, I don't. You have a problem with that, you can get out from here. Do you even understand? Do you even have the sensitivity to understand that when someone is on a deathbed, when someone is in ICU, what kind of mindset one is in? I don't think you even have the sensitivity to address that. That's why you're coming and asking such an insensitive, stupid, nonsensical question. You know what? People like you don't deserve to be on a stream of mine. It's as simple as that. I don't need your question. I don't need your super chat. I don't need your kind, generous, intellectually solid comments which will make my day. I hope you understand that. I just hope when there is a family emergency at your end, and I'm sure there will be, and I wish to God that you come out of this unscathed and everybody remains sane and healthy and happy. But when things go wrong, how sane you are when somebody you're just being told in the middle of the show has been rushed to an intensive care unit. That's what you are, my friend. Little bit of sensitivity, and you think I'm proud of the fact that the conversation went on air? No. And the mistake was done from the back end. We've addressed that. We've cut that bit out and the show was edited enough. After that, you're actually coming and telling me that how stupid I am, the back end is idiotic, etc., etc. God help you, my friend. God help you. I mean, this is the exact kind of troll who should be framed and put in a museum with the big letters mentioning troll. Coming back to the Vibhav Suryavanchi debate, I need to kind of give you a couple of examples. Before that, let me tell you a Sachin story. Let me tell you a Sachin story from the 1992 tour of Australia. Multiple times, actually, Sachin Tendulkar has been sledged in his career, even when he was 16. When he was 16, Mr. Chappal, I will be rude to anybody, and I'm using the word rude, who tries to be insensitive and stupid with me or cheeky. Somebody's ill health is not the subject to try and be cheeky. I hope you get that. And I'm absolutely well within my rights to say what I want on my show. You are at liberty to leave the show and not come back ever again to Rev Sports. Do you get it? I hope you do. I hope you really do. Simple as that. Coming back, Sachin Tendulkar, 1992. He was in Australia. Before that, 1989, in Pakistan, when the ball hit Sachin here at the, right at the forehead, and it was bleeding, Javed Miandad comes up to Tendulkar. Imran Khan was standing there. Javed Miandad comes up to Tendulkar and says to him, दूध पीता बच्चा दूध जाके घर में जाके दूध पी ले, it is bleeding up, तो तुझे hospital ले जाना पड़ेगा, etc., etc. He started sledging Tendulkar right then. So much so that even Imran Khan got concerned and the rest of the people got concerned and said, leave him alone. There are three generations here. Tendulkar, Kohli and Vaibhav. Three generations. Sachin Tendulkar, after all that bleeding, he was 16, maybe 1 year older than Vibhav Suryavanchi, did not leave the pitch, went and batted the next ball, hit the second ball, if I remember, for a 4. That was one riposte that I think is the correct riposte when you are being sledged or when you are being unnecessarily pushed or needled. The fact is, Vibhav Suryavanchi in 1992, 3 years later, Sachin in Australia, one Australian player was continuously needling him and being cheeky again. Sachin called that player and said, look, at this age, I play test cricket for India. You don't even play for New South Wales. At times you play for New South Wales. First, come and play test cricket. And then, once you come and play test cricket, we will have a conversation. The matter was put to rest. My point is, let your bat do the talking, because ultimately, if you lose your cool, if you lose your composure, if you lose that, what will happen with somebody like a Vibhav Suryavanchi is people will try and get under your skin. People will know. Take the Nick Kyrgios example. Nick Kyrgios was one of the most talented tennis players of our time. Yet he became the bad boy of international tennis, did not do justice to the talent that he had, and unfortunately, that's the kind of identity that has stuck with Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios was destined for greatness. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Now comes a kind of an exchange which I will read to you, which has happened today on X. Before that, let me answer some. Gigi can still bring Gill back in T20s. All he needs to do is drop a player by giving the excuse that the player leaked dressing room. This is a bogus question. What are you trying to answer? The team has been done. The team has been done, which is a very, very good side. Why do you think you would have to ask when Gautam will bring Gill back, etc., etc.? Makes no sense. Freaking awesome. I think he asks decent questions. What is the question today? Some people do not know how to react and behave when they are getting very familiar. Sachin is a great example of sportsmanship. He never behaved bad on the field. Youngsters need to learn from him. Exactly the point that I've been trying to make on the show. Exactly the point that I have written about. Now here, freaking awesome, the responsibility is what you've just said. Now, had you turned the narrative and said, oh, you know what? So Vibhav Suryavanchi is 15 years old. Why are you saying or being critical of Vibhav Suryavanchi? You should not. Let him be. He's being whatever aggressive on your face, etc. Would you be doing justice to your identity as a sports fan? No. What you've just written here is exactly what your identity as a sports fan is. By not holding up the mirror, and someone who says 15 years old, leave Vibhav Suryavanchi alone because he's 15 years old. Now, when he's playing the IPL, is he playing as a 15-year-old or is he playing as an adult? When he's being celebrated, is he being celebrated as a 15-year-old or as an adult? When he's being paid 4 crores or 5 crores or 6 crores, is he being paid as a minor or is he being paid as an adult? He is being paid as a talented sports person who is playing the game on a level playing field. He's not being paid as a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old. Okay? So Vibhav Suryavanshi is being paid because he is greatly talented and he is playing the sport at the highest elite level. So all of the yardsticks that one would impose on every other sports person would be imposed or expected out of a Vibhav Suryavanshi. Exactly the kind of comment that freaking awesome has just asked. You gave credit to Gambhir for dropping Gill. Who's to be blamed for his selection? That's why I said again that in the question, Gaurav, whatever your name is, in September they got Gill back, but in hindsight, that was a wrong call. So they got Gill back because, as Ajit Agarkar said in the selection committee meeting, that Gill was playing red ball cricket, had a great IPL record, which is why he missed T20 cricket. But when you look back, is it a right call to tamper with a successful opening combination of Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma? No. So the introspection must have happened. The call was rectified by this selection. And because it was rectified, I wrote what it was, that, this guy was anointed for vice captaincy and made red ball captain and 50-over captain. So perhaps the next big superstar. He had all the 3 formats, leadership in 2, vice captain in 1, was being touted as the next big brand and superstar. All of a sudden, if you take that person out, by dropping him, there has been a dismantling of the star culture. If you ask me, was it a good call? No, it wasn't a good call in hindsight. Having said that, it was a call that was worth it. Shubman Gill is a player of immense talent. Unfortunately for him and for India, he did not score the runs that was expected of him. That's the whole point. Did I not question about Bumrah? Of course I did. Anyone. That was not a comment that was befitting of Jasprit Bumrah or anyone. If it is a comment which is below the belt, that comment will be questioned. Absolutely I did. We were I think we're on a live show or multiple other live shows. Look, I have absolutely no problems in questioning anyone. But let's come back to the Vibhav Suryavanshi debate. Why didn't you question Bumrah? I did. Agree. But that doesn't mean the mentality of a 14-year-old will be similar to that of a... Absolutely not. Having said that, that's why a 14-year-old will have to be more conscious, because a million people are watching. He's playing an adult sport. He cannot do something which can actually harm him in the long run, which can harm his team, which can disgrace his country, which can be picked up by the international media as somebody, look at this guy, he's not playing the sport in the truest sense. This is a mistake. That's the whole point. Mistakes happen. The point that I'm making here, very, very clear. Vibhav Suryavanchi made a mistake. That behavior was unacceptable. As long as he learns from that mistake and plays the World Cup, which is 3 weeks from now, in a calmer mind, he will benefit and India will benefit. The BCCI too, by the way, let me just tell you this, that the BCCI too has taken notice, and from what I understand, the under-19 team will be spoken to. The under-19 team is being spoken to. This kind of behavior is not exactly what is merited, much like the England team. They, too much alcohol. The Robert Key is already on record. So there are certain parameters that are expected of international sports people. If you depart from that, if you do something that is beyond that, then definitely questions will be asked. And that is exactly what I have done. Why didn't you give justification? What is this question? Let me take that. Akash Shetty, why didn't you give justification for Riddhiman Sahab? Boss, I've written a book. I've proved with clear, credible evidence of 250 pages that fellow was a liar. What more justification do you want? I've written a whole book which became a national bestseller. Clearly you are ignorant, Akash. You should at least get me some royalty. Go buy the book, read the book, and then come back and tell me what justification. I didn't give a justification. I took him down. I proved conclusively. It takes a lot to be abused, your family to be abused, suffer unfairly for 2 years, not get access for 2 years, not cover cricket for 2 years because of somebody's lies. So Akash, I've got hurt materially as well. My livelihood was in question. My company's access was in question. So it's not just justification. This is serious loss of credibility, of trolling, of material loss, everything. So I went ahead and did a whole book, my friend. Kindly go and check. Hero worship exists in all sports, can't blame fans. Top players handle it the right way. LeBron James was called the chosen one at age 16. That's the point, Dhanush, that while it is about the player needs to keep his mind on the field, the focus has to be kept on the game so that it doesn't waver. And yes, if the fans are a little more responsible, great. Because in this social media age, hero worship does exist. You're absolutely correct. Hero worship will exist. Having said that, as responsible journalists, as responsible fans, we can also do better. Because ultimately, Vibhav Suryavanchi doing well for India is something that each one of us, whether you're a scribe, whether you're a journalist, whether you're a fan, you would want that guy to achieve greatness and be the chosen one. Be the person who takes Indian cricket higher. So if we can exercise a bit more restraint and hold up the mirror, it's good for him. But I take your point. I take your point that hero worship does exist in every sphere. Absolutely exists in every sphere. And it is on the sports person, because he or she is in the driver's seat. It is on the sports person to keep his head. Okay. Now coming back. I have to give you this example. So we had this exchange on social media with this guy here. So he comes and starts writing that he comes in, where is it? That रुक जाइए, मैं पढ़ के सुना देता हूं आपको. Sorry, where is it? Don't worry, Mr. Boria, if you unjustifiably support a player, etc., at the cost of Indian team's interest, and continuously berate a 14-year-old kid, dog whistling trollers towards him, I will remain obsessed with you. Feel free. This is a chap called Gangadhar, goes with a Twitter name of Andy Pycroft. I asked him with fullest of respect, why don't you come to my show? He says, come to a Twitter space. It is my show. It is my piece. You are responding to my piece. So I've invited you to come to my show. Accept the invite and come and ask me. I said, come to the show. We will answer each other's questions. This guy obviously does not have the courage or the mettle to come to a show and face it. He wants to go and hide behind a Twitter space. Each one of you know I don't do Twitter spaces. This is a show that I do. I don't consider Twitter spaces worth I never join. All these Twitter spaces I never join. In this case, the man in question, and there are many, he will get a few likes at my expense. He will get a few retweets at my expense. He will get, and then he goes on to say all his criticism is within civil boundaries. Fair enough. I invited him to come and join the show and let's have an active engagement. Because this is exactly what I've been saying. That why don't you hold up the mirror? When you are saying I'm unfairly going after someone, what is the unfairness? I am saying this guy is enormously talented. I am saying with the talent should come temperament. I am saying a mistake was made. I hope he learns. I am saying that if you are a fan of his, do not say that what happened against Pakistan in that match was fair. What is unfair in this, Gangadhar? What is unfair? You've listed out, supporting, etc. It's a dog whistling, something. What is unfair? Now you do not have the courage to come to the show. You do not have the courage to come and face questions because you will hide behind 140 characters and you will fire your thing so that you get a few more retweets and a few more likes. That's the story. Somebody else comes and says, Boryada or something like that, challenge accept kar lijiye. Where is the challenge? We are all trying to help one cricketer get better. I told him that's why I've invited this guy to the show. He likes that tweet and moves on. So my point, the larger point is when we are talking about hero worship never gets anybody anywhere. The truth also is hero worship will be there. Hero worship is a part of our cricket culture. Hero worship will always be a part of India's cricket culture. And as a result, there will be a Sachin Tendulkar and there will be a Vinod Kambli. There will be a Sachin Tendulkar and a Vinod Kambli. Is anybody going to tell me Vinod Kambli was less talented? Is anybody? Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli channelized his energies into something which was fantastic. He was also on people's face. He also had that when he lost it and showed the middle finger. Thereafter, he improved. Within a month of that, when he came to Dhaka, Virat Kohli won over fans the world over. Won over fans the world over. Virat Kohli over time became a more mature person. I am sure Vibhav Suryavanchi will want to go down that route. But there are many, many examples where this heady cocktail of money, fame, and a lot more that goes on in Indian cricket can actually get into your mindset, get into your head. And the problem with hero worshipping fans, in this case Rajasthan Royal fans, who are masquerading as fans, who are actually trolls, the problem is they will end up harming this guy. Akash Shetty, Shubhi Gill literally averages. What was the reason for backing? What is the backing, my friend? What is the backing? I have written 10 pieces saying performance matters. The backing is for, my point is simple. You cannot abuse a cricketer. You cannot. Shubman Gill or for that matter anyone. Do you even read? Do you know English? Do you read my pieces? If you do, come and show me where have I said that Shubman Gill has scored runs that deserves a place in the team. Never, not even once. Shubman Gill is a man of immense talent. No debate. Shubman Gill has not performed to expectations between September and now. No debate. Has he been rightfully left out? Absolutely yes. Does that make a question mark over Surya Kumar Yadav? Absolutely yes. But the selectors went and couched it saying combination, because if they did not say combination, they would have had to also deal with the Surya problem, because if you are dropping Shubman, why not Surya? But if you say combination, if you say a wicketkeeper batter at the top, then you can skirt that Surya Kumar Yadav question. And the point is simple. Yesterday I was on an NDTV show with Ankit Tyagi and he asked me, why not Surya? Because a vice captain and captain are fundamentally different. In the case of a captain, you cannot drop him 50 days ahead of the World Cup. He has been the leader for the last 1.5 years, has won every series. To drop a captain takes a lot more. In Shubman's case, 3 months, not part of the T20 setup before that. We have a Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma who've done very well. A vice captain is not really relevant at all in a home World Cup when you can call in somebody from outside in case there is an injury. So Shubman Gill could be dropped, while Surya Kumar Yadav being the captain was a far more difficult choice. Having said that, against New Zealand in the forthcoming series, it is absolutely imperative that Surya Kumar Yadav scores. That's the point. Siddhant Pandey, I know you love your hockey. Hockey India League, I was having a chat with Bholanath Singh today. We will do a special on Hockey India League, Siddhant, and thanks for reminding me. I'm in fact trying to do a backstage with Boria with one of the male players and a female player building up to the Hockey India League and trying to understand, this time I would want the women's tournament to be much better. Obviously, the men's tournament will be the focus of ours as well. Abhishek Mishra will be on ground to cover the Hockey India League, both the men and the women. I really, really hope that the league is a success, because I know for a fact that Hockey India is putting a lot of effort into it. And you want a franchise league like that, Siddhant, to be successful, because when you brush shoulders with the greats of international hockey, you actually get better as a country and as a team. Massive year in hockey coming up. Massive year. Asian Games will allow Olympic qualification. And that's where I would want to see Hockey India take steps for the women's team, take corrective steps after the departure of Harinder Singh, because you would want to use that games to make the qualification for LA. Because at this point in time, to be relegated from the Pro League, the women's game has been struggling. The men did well. They've won multiple tournaments. I do think they're the best in Asia, and they should qualify for the Olympic Games if they win the Asian Games gold. But the women's team, with China, with some of the other sides, has been struggling. So one would want them to get better. And to get better, the Hockey India League can be a really strong platform, Siddhant. Will I cover Amartya Chakraborty Indian Open in January? I will not go to Delhi personally. It is a 750. It has to be covered. It is on our home soil. Abhishek Mishra and Gargi Raut will be there covering the Indian Open in January in Delhi. The Badminton World Championship between the 17th and the 23rd of August. I also want to go for the World Championship alongside Gargi and Abhishek. Our young reporters, possibly Shoujani and Mohor, will also be there. I will also try and come for the World Championship in August between 17th and 23rd. We've already made a list of 26 events. We've already made a list of 26 events that we will be covering from on ground, including international events. I thought I saw a good question there. One second. Where is this question on? Dravid and Lakshman. Who asked this question? Somebody asked a question on who's Indian supporter. Do you think hard taskmasters like Dravid and VVS are necessary for under-19s to keep them in check? Maybe even Anil. That's a very good question. That's a very good question, because all said and done, whether it's a Prithvi Shaw, look at Shaw and look at Gill. Look at where Gill is in red ball cricket. Look at where Shaw is. Do we want a Shaw? Do we want Vibhav Suryavanchi to be the next Gill, to be the next, Abhishek, to be the next big star, or do we want him to go down the wrong route? That's the simple thing. Do we need a Dravid Lakshman-like coach? See, I don't know Rishikesh and Sunil as coaches really well. So I will not be able to say, but I understand where you're coming from, Indian supporter, that Rahul Dravid being in that dressing room, a towering personality with the kind of discipline, with the same aura that VVS Lakshman has, is that necessary for an under-19? Maybe. Anil is a very dear friend of mine. Anil, again, Kumble brings in that kind of aura. Yes, so this is actually a very good question, that for the under-19, much more than the senior team, you need people of aura who have been there and who have a great record, who actually will be looked up to by exceedingly talented youngsters. Even if you have great talent, you're actually talking to a Rahul Dravid. You're talking to a VVS Lakshman, whose achievements are such that you will forever look up to these people. I think this is a very good question. So, Indian supporter, good question. No telecast of the Delhi VHT match. In our work group, who is this? Mahida. There is a lot of discussion in our group about JioStar telecasting it. I'm not sure. In our work group over the last couple of hours, there is a lot of talk about this match being telecast or not telecast. So, but I hope when Virat Kohli is playing, there will be interest. I hope the match is telecast, or going forward, the matches that he plays in are telecast. The same for Rohit Sharma, Rohit in Jaipur, Virat in Bengaluru. I do hope as much as possible domestic cricket should be telecast. Raj seeks so too. Sky had past performances, biggest match winner, selection is justified. Fair point. Very fair point, Raj. Very, very fair point. Uh, because Surya Kumar Yadav as a T20 player, international T20 player, has to be 100% above Shubman Gill in terms of track record. So when you are thinking Sky, you will have to take this into account that he's been there, done that, been the world's number one T20 player. 100%. And for the longest time was India's best T20 batter. So maybe he's just an innings away. That's a very, very good question again. That, that's why maybe you want to invest in Sky, that when he gets it, he'll kind of make it click. Dada, do you think Pakistan will get advantage playing the same ground? Yes, because they will play all their games in Colombo, but that's geopolitics. We can't help it. That is the reality of our times. India, on Indian soil, where are we playing? We are playing first in Wankhede. We know that track. We are playing in Kolkata. We know it very well. We are playing Chennai. We are playing Ahmedabad. We are playing Colombo. I don't think it, and we are playing Mumbai again in the semi-finals. I don't think India will have a problem either. I absolutely don't think India. Amartya Chakraborty, I'll be in Delhi. Hope to meet your on-ground crew. Yes, as I said, definitely meet Gargi Raut. Definitely meet Abhishek Mishra. We will also try, and both of them will be there, because Rohit Juglan at that point in time will be in Harare and in Namibia for the Under-19 World Cup. Our other colleague Vibhav will also be, Vibhav Tripathi, he will also be in Harare and Namibia. So two of them will go for the Under-19 World Cup. Gargi Raut and Abhishek Mishra will both cover the badminton 750 in Delhi. What's your take on England losing the Ashes? I think this one-dimensional baseball has been a cause of their downfall. I was with the British Deputy High Commissioner at an event about an hour back, and we were talking about this. I thought it was a unidimensional approach. For even the last day, the way Jamie Smith was going, it is as if every ball needs to be hit out of the park. There was no plan B for England. Test match 1, if you remember, England got a lead. They had Australia on the mat, and then Travis Head chased it down with that innings. Somebody counterpunched. England did not have an answer. So test match 1 up to day 2, up to day 2, day 1, at the end of day 1, England was the team that was in the driver's seat. So one has to keep that in mind. England did have their moments. Unfortunately, Australia played the bigger moments much, much better than England, and that is why. And now, obviously, test match number 4 and test match number 5, England will have to play for pride. England will have to, and now every test match matters. If you win at 1 or even 2 in the WTC cycle, it will make a difference to your points and a difference to your rankings. If they go down 0-5, that will be a huge blow as far as England is concerned. Greg Chappal, again, you have come, my friend. With due respect, I'll leave that ball outside the off stump. But fair enough. You've done your job. You've asked your questions. It's my prerogative. I'm leaving that ball outside the off stump. Happy. New Zealand have never won an ODI series. Buryada Surya out of run, but he's not out of form. See, I saw Surya bat. Whose question is this? Muhammad Raihan, MD Raihan. I saw Surya bat in the nets very closely in Dubai during the Asia Cup. And each time he was batting, I have to tell you this, he was batting beautifully. He was hitting the big shots at the ICC Academy. He was nailing the balls. He was hitting his shots. I did not really sense that Surya was out of form. I did not. I absolutely did not sense that Surya was out of form. So my thing is, I kind of understand what is being said here. Having said that, I again come back to the point that I keep saying, that what is form if it's not translated into runs? Ultimately, you have to score runs if you are playing international sport. You have to translate that into runs if you are playing international sport. That's not what has happened for Surya for the longest time. So the New Zealand series becomes massively critical for Surya. I hope he delivers. For his sake, for India's sake, He's a gun T20 batter. Make no mistake, one of the best ever. That first ball for six, all of us remember that which he played against England. Oh, wow. So someone who can play those shots, the pickup, I think the bowlers have also bowled well. They've bowled outside off, wide outside off to him, not on middle and leg where he can play that pickup shot. So I think the opponents have also done their research. Surya needs to go one step better. I hope he does come back in that New Zealand series. Again, 40 minutes have flown past. 40 minutes have flown past, and this is one show I love to do, the 5 at 5. That's why I kind of started it again alone. For the longest time, because of the pressures of the business, I wasn't able to do. We'll make a big announcement tomorrow on the show. We'll make a big announcement tomorrow on the show if I'm able to do tomorrow. I will try and do tomorrow. If I'm not able to do tomorrow, then definitely day after. But 99%, I will not try. I will not miss 5 at 5. For the moment, thanks for all your questions. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for asking everything. But to end, all we want, all of us, each one who is asking a question, good, bad, critical, abusive, whatever, we want Vibhav Suryavanchi to be successful. We want Vibhav Suryavanchi to stand up and deliver for India. And in doing that, all we are saying, or I am saying, is his temperament needs to be better so that people don't get under his skin, so that he can uphold the values of cricket. And that's where maybe Tendulkar can be the best role model possible. If anyone has a problem with that, can't help it. Thank you very much for watching.